Crosstalk, the unintentional transfer of signals between communication channels, a casual conversation.
Hello world, this is Video Game Crosstalk, episode 032 of the monthly podcast of gamers talking tech, science, and whatever else comes to mind. I'm your host, Anthony Rossi, and with me this episode is an entire slew of people. You see, I was able to attend Hudson Valley GamerCon this past weekend, an esports tournament that featured 20 universities here in the Northeast, and I had an absolutely amazing time. Now, listeners of this podcast will know I'm not really into the esports scene myself, being more into the epic RPGs and games that can really get into the lore and kind of nerd out on. So it's just my personal flavor. It's just kind of what I do. But I had an absolutely amazing time. Being at a live event such as this, it's just a completely different experience. And, well, let's just get this party started.
All right, so we are here at day 2 at Hudson Valley GamerCon, finally getting a chance to do some interviews now that some of the audio has died down, because it has been loud here, and loud in a good way, but this is what I'm trying to do, try to get some interviews going on. So first stop, I'm going to stop by the vendor table for my alma mater, the College of St. Rose, and I am joined by...
Dan Marino. I'm the new head coach for the esports team here.
All right, so St. Rose currently does not have an esports team, but we will be official in the fall?
Correct. We will have a team in both League of Legends and Overwatch starting in the fall semester.
That is awesome, and I was just about to ask which games are going to be going, so it was going to be, say it one more time?
League of Legends and Overwatch.
Fantastic. So how much interest do we have at St. I mean, there's enough interest to warrant an esports team. Has it been pretty big around campus?
Right, yeah. We actually have a club esports team that sort of petitioned the administration to even, consider the varsity program. So we have a lot of interest on campus through them, and then we actually have a lot of interest with incoming freshmen who want to get involved as well.
That is, so there was an esports club, and they took it upon themselves to petition the college to say, yes, we want to take this to the varsity level.
Exactly, and that's usually where you kind of see these programs start from, are the students who are pushing the administrations in college and in high school to sort of start to get with it and to start esports teams.
That's a really interesting phrase, the whole get with it, because leading up to this event, I've done a few other interviews with gaming insomniacs. They're on the other side of the hall, and with Kieran, who's organizing this event. And here in the Northeast and the East Coast, esports isn't as big as on the West Coast, nor as big as the rest of the world. So, yeah, it's finally coming through. The students are taking it upon themselves, it seems, to actually get this moving.
Right, yeah, and I'm not sure why it hasn't really took to the East Coast, but it's definitely a nice feeling to see us start to catch up. Definitely over the last year or two, you've gone from basically no programs to just about every college considering it with a club team, where we're really going the full investment around, like St. Rose, and going with a varsity program. Well,
I got a feeling it's going to be a bit like dominoes. Like, once we have a few colleges, I mean, right now we had 20 teams here competing in Overwatch, Fortnite, and League of Legends, and it's just going to keep going. I think that it's kind of hard to be the first in the area if you've got, no one to compete against in a sport. But now that we're getting more and more teams, it's a spot where we can start competing. You agree with that?
Right, yeah, and that's sort of the glory about esports, is that you don't have to have those regional competitive teams because you can play a team from Nebraska or Colorado, and it sort of opens up your connections and your worldview just through playing a game. But, being a competitor, I come from traditional sports, so I really like having those in-state rivalries. So I'm super excited to get to compete against teams like Albany and Siena and sort of those local, or definitely RPI as well.
We'll be getting into them.
Yeah, to sort of, build up those connections that you see sort of, in football and baseball and basketball at the collegiate level, and have those really fun rivalries.
Because rivalries are always fun. The way I've viewed most rivalries is I personally really never cared, but it's fun to get the team together, get the crew together, and just like have a fun to to playfully and cooperatively hate each other in a very playful manner.
Exactly. And it's not just for the team a lot of times because, student bodies do get into it. Esports isn't the biggest spectator sport, but sort of as it develops, I would imagine that more people would enjoy watching it. So it's also for the student body to kind of build that school spirit. And like you said, playfully.
Playfully, yes.
Exactly. But it's all in good fun, and it's for competition and sort of that skill building.
All right, so how big of teams are we looking at for the upcoming debut, I guess, or the esports team at St. Rose?
Sure, I think a lot of it depends on what the interest level is. Obviously, with running a League of Legends team and an Overwatch team, we're looking at 11 spots minimum. Ideally, you run 2 teams, so you have that sort of in-house practice option, so you can practice against each other and sort of create the scenarios that you want to see. But really, it depends on interest. The more people involved, the better, really.
All right, fantastic. It looks like we got the next match of League of Legends coming up, so I'm going to catch up with some people in a little bit. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so we're moving down a few booths. I am now with Vicarious Visions, makers of all sorts of fan favorites here in Albany and across the U.S., across the world. I'll go ahead and say that. And I am joined by...
Hi, I'm Callie, and I'm a recruitment coordinator at VV.
Thank you so much for speaking with me, Callie. How has the con been treating you so far?
It's been going really well. We've had a lot of people really interested in our Crash Bandicoot game play right now, trying to win all kinds of awesome prizes from us.
Yeah, so Crash Bandicoot is something that I actually didn't play growing up. I was mostly on Nintendo and Super Nintendo and all those. Yeah, right. Just PlayStation just wasn't what I was into at the time. So I gave the Crash Course a go a few times yesterday, and I was brutally reminded of what games were like back in the 90s. So what's it been like watching people play the Crash setup?
It's been really awesome. We've had a lot of people who've never played Crash Bandicoot before, and they are really interested in the game now. They spent several hours here just trying to win the game, and it's really interesting because it's such a different game than what is currently out in the world right now, because it goes back to the old platformers of the 90s. Right,
and you have the platformers. I see some 3D action going on right now, but it's still a platformer that I guess I'll go the transitionary years between the 2D to the 3D. So we're still making when Crash was originally made, it's still a platformer, but now we just go in multiple directions.
Yeah, that is very true, and especially with Crash in particular, it's all about your depth perception and making sure you're understanding exactly how far that next platform is for you to be able to reach onto it, which a lot of people kind of get a little thrown off on.
Yeah, I did several times. I'm like, oh yeah, so jump, oh, didn't make it. Okay, try this guy, jump, didn't make it again. So why don't you go ahead and explain, we have a nice banner behind you, what games we have represented here.
Currently, we're just kind of showcasing what Vicarious Visions in particular has worked on. So in our past, we've done Skylanders, we've done Guitar Hero, helped out on Destiny 2, and then also Crash Bandicoot, the Insane Trilogy. Also been known for doing things like Tony Hawk Pro Skater, Marvel Ultimate Alliance. It's a pretty intense repertoire of games for sure.
I played so much Tony Hawk back in my punk rock youth. It was so much fun.
Hi, I'm having fun at this convention.
Okay.
This is my monster.
Go ahead. And your name is?
My name is Tom.
How you doing, Tom? Apparently he's got a monster that he wants to share with me.
Yeah. Well, would you like it?
No thanks, I'm good.
I can't. I would have never given it to you.
Okay, that's you're a tease. You're an evil person, just so you know. You get all types here coming to the cons. So as I was saying, I played so much back in my punk rock youth. Did you play much of Tony Hawk yourself?
I played a little bit of it. My partner, though, is a really big fan of Tony Hawk Pro Skater. He has about 4 of the games, and he'll play them constantly back on like the old GameCube days. So.
Yeah, it really was. It was so much fun. Just kick-flipping and grinding over the Smithsonian and museum exhibits and all sorts of places that you would never actually be able to go in real life. So you got quite the spread on this table. Why don't you go ahead and describe some of the things that we got here?
Yeah, so besides the prizes we're giving away for the Crash event, we're also having things like our Frisbees, our sunglasses, pop sockets, bottle openers, pens, lip balm. So just a bunch of cool, fun things that are great takeaways for the event.
Yeah, it's great. So, and we are set up directly. You've got prime seating for League of Legends. So have you been enjoying watching those competitions?
It's been really good. There's been some really intense matches so far. As a personal League of Legends fan, it's really exciting to see what the teams have been bringing to the table and kind of seeing the rivalries that are already happening.
Okay, so as a fan of League of Legends, you've got your own play style and the friends that you play with, you've got their play styles. Are you noticing any differences between your play versus what's happening on screen?
Oh, for sure. There's definitely some champions that I'm really surprised to see in the tournament, mainly because as someone who follows the pro scene, they are not in the pro scene meta right now. So it's really interesting to see certain champions played like Malphite or Poppy or Zac right now, which is really cool.
All right, so what's in the meta right now?
It's a little up in the air, but it's a lot of mage ranged characters right now, especially in the mid lane or bot lane, which is really interesting.
Very cool. All right, well, thank you so much for speaking with me, and enjoy the rest of the event.
Thanks, you too.
All right, so now I am at a table that's not necessarily esports, but definitely a lot going on here. It is, shall we say this is the altered reality table? Should we go with that? And who am I joined with?
My name's Michael. I'm one of the floor managers for Altered Reality Entertainment.
Excellent, and what are we promoting here today?
We're here promoting for Empire State Comic-Con. That'll be here on April 12th to the 14th at the Albany Capitol Center.
Which is literally the building that we're in right now. So as of this recording, roughly 2 weeks later, this place is going to be filled with vendors, comic books, artists, cosplayers. We have a few cosplayers to our side. We might say hi in a little bit. But so aside from Empire State, what else are we promoting here today?
We're also promoting for Epic Comic-Con. We have a new show coming up in Atlantic City at the Showboat Hotel. We're also promoting for Rhode Island Comic-Con as well, November 1st to the 3rd. That's in Providence, Rhode Island.
Sounds like it's going to be a blast. I got a whole bunch of prints sitting in front of me. Would you like to describe what some of these prints are?
Yeah, most definitely. So right now we have a couple of different prints from our comic line called Road Warrior. We've got a couple of different prints of her. We also have kid-friendly ones. We call them Little Rhodey. It's just a little kid-friendly version of Little Rhodey trying to save Providence, Rhode Island from being beat up by a giant dragon.
Sounds like fun for the whole family.
Most definitely. That's what we have. We have a little bit of everything for everyone in the family, friends, family, anybody that's maybe not into Comic-Cons but wants to go and spend time with their friends, they can definitely do this.
And that is something that, I mean, I need to get out into the public a little bit more. Hopefully I can do that with this podcast, that going to your first Comic-Con can be very overwhelming at times because this is a very large room and it is going to be packed. Would you agree with that?
Definitely. It will be loaded with a lot of vendors, artists. We've got celebrities here. But the nice thing about it is even if you're going to a first con, a smaller convention is probably a great one to get your feet wet. This is definitely a nice small convention. It's well attended by the community. Folks who come from about 3-4 hours away will definitely come to this. It's definitely a good one to go to.
Yeah, and also, if you are coming to your first con, one of the tips that I try to tell people, you let me know what your opinion on this is, go ahead and talk to the vendors because they got to stick behind their table for hours. Would you agree with that?
Most definitely. Take a minute, talk to them, see what they've got for sales, what they're selling. Even just have a conversation with them sometimes. They might have some good deals. They might get a better feel for what you're looking for. They might have another vendor here or an artist that they know that might fit your needs and what you're looking for.
And that's great to hear, just the artists and the vendors just kind of networking and working together because the nerd and geek scene is so wide and vast. You don't know what you're looking for. You don't know what you might be interested in. If you let someone know who actually regularly is a vendor at these cons, they're going to know. They're going to know fairly in depth what's going on. And if it's the whole, well, if you like this and this, go check out this person. This is what they're selling.
Most definitely, I agree with you. You might be like, you could be a pop vendor, like you could be a pop fan, so you want to go buy the latest pops. Well, these vendors might have them. Maybe you're looking for a specific one. They might not have it, but they know one of their other friends or a vendor that's here will have it, and they'll send you over to there. So it's always good.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. And hey, cosplayers, do you have a moment to chat? I see some reservations. Don't mind me. I'm just going to put you on the spot right now. All right. So first up, what is your name?
My name's Garnett. I go by GNet online.
Fantastic. And today we are dressed up as?
I'm dressed as Noctis from Final Fantasy 15.
And it's one hell of a setup going on right here. So we got Noctis going on today. What are some of your other cosplays?
I've done anywhere from Black Panther. I've done Iron Man before. I've done a lot of Power Ranger cosplays, and some DCs like Green Lantern, Red X from Teen Titans. Like I just, it's hard.
Well, you got quite the list going on. And how much of your cosplay is handmade, personally made?
Most of my cosplays are about 80% to 90% just from scratch. So
that's really good.
Yeah, I've been doing it like since 2010, so it's definitely a work in progress continually. So,
and I'm just gonna for people looking to get into cosplay. This guy just said that he is a work in progress, and he's been doing this for 9 years. Okay, so if you want to get in, don't be afraid. Start off with some casual ones.
Yeah, exactly. My first cosplay was Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe. It's made from like an Under Armour shirt and a kid's Snake Eyes visor. So it was really cheap. It was like really thrown together. But
hey, whatever works for you. All right, awesome. Does anyone else want to step up? Shy? No, that's fine. That's fine. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Will you guys be at the Empire State Con?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll also be at the Empire State. All right, thank you so much. Moving around the vendor space, I am now at the Collegiate Sports Management Group, and I am joined by
Kelly Klein.
Hello, Kelly. How has the con been treating you so far?
It has been great. It's been a good experience. This is our first time here. We work with the ECAC a lot with their multimedia rights, and we're helping with the new Esports U sister company of ours, trying to get more sponsorship and get a more national reach for this esports tournament.
Sounds fantastic. So, would that be what your group does, like in a nutshell?
In the nutshell of the esports world.
All right. So where else are we working in?
We are a college properties company. We have a national reach. We work with schools outside of the Power 565 conferences, the mid-major D1s, all the way down to junior college schools, again helping with multimedia rights, sponsorship, sales, merchandising, ticketing, all of the above.
That sounds like you keep busy with what you're working with.
Yeah, we're a pretty busy company. We just got a couple new hires, and we're looking to expand even more as this year is coming to a finish and starting up for next season already.
So, the sports management of it all, that sounds like a really important aspect for student athletes who are just trying to just focus on their own skills as an athlete, and then like all the administrative stuff on the back end. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that. Our company is very good with that. I used to be an athlete myself. So now being into the business world, they're really helping engage me and teach me how to become a part of a company, as obviously I didn't go professional. So it's a big aspect of part of the students' lives now and also after school that the company really helps with too.
Yeah, because just the little bit that I've been working with for this podcast, trying to balance the business with, I'll say it, the fun of it all, it can get very overwhelming once you try to move into anything besides just posting your stuff to Twitter or Instagram.
Yeah, it's a big time management thing. I am an over-organized student, so my time management is a little bit better than most.
So you're perfect for this job. Go on.
I try my best, but for these students, putting their schools first is always what they have to do, especially coming into a 2-day weekend of nothing but esports. So getting their studies done before they get to their fun or extracurricular activities is what their schools have to focus on too.
Very important. If you're in school, that's your job at this point. That's your job. Handle that, and then we'll come to the esports tournament, and we'll have a lot of fun here in Albany. So, how have you been enjoying the Capitol Center in Albany as a city?
The Capitol Center is awesome. They put on a great production here with the lights on the ceilings, from everything else, the back end to the front end. It's been a great opportunity for our company to come up here and experience this. It was also a great weekend up here in Albany just because they had the Women's Sweet 16 tournament here on Friday and the rest of this weekend. So it brings in another crowd that we would hope that would come to our esports tournament too.
Yeah, the lights are absolutely amazing. I'll be posting some pictures of the ceiling, and they had this weird, I guess I'll call it breathing effect with the different colors, which looks amazing. However, I'm going to pray that my pictures come out all right.
We're hoping the same thing with our pictures too. It's cool. It really relates to the esports and how they always have the neon colors, the bright lights, even their keyboards or their computers are lit up too. So it really fits with the theme of the event.
All right. Well, thank you so much for spending some time with me. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Okay, so I'm over with the Mohawk Honda booth, setup, display, all just kind of splayed out here. And who am I joined with?
Nathaniel Greklick.
What's going on, Nate? Question that's been burning on at least my mind, how the heck did you get the car up here?
Teleportation, does that count?
I can do that. You know, I can. So it's not a living thing. So if some of the atoms get crisscrossed a little bit, it's not going to cause a catastrophic failure. But it looks like we got to fine tune enough so that it's all here. So what kind of car do we have at the end of your display?
So this is a 2019 Civic Type R. It's actually the fastest production front-wheel drive car in the world.
Really?
Yeah, 306 horsepower. Actually set the record on the Nuremberg track. So if you're a nerd and you know about cars, you hear that and you're like, oh.
There might be a few nerds listening to this podcast, so good to know.
Well, that's great. I mean, we're always looking to be a part of the community, and I did not teleport it here. I drove it through a freight elevator, through the loading dock, very tight quarters.
I'm going to edit this part out. We're just going to go with teleportation, just so you know, but go ahead.
That's fine. No worries.
So what kind of stuff do we have on display here at your booth?
So obviously I have my Xbox here, and I just thought it was a free way to level up, so that's why I threw it here. No, but just to get a lot of attention, just bring people to show people what Mohawk Honda does. We don't just sell cars, but we're actually a part of the community in every way we can. All right, so what other types of community outreach events do you work on? Absolutely. So we do everything from pet adoption clinics, which is one's going to happen April 14th.
Excellent.
At our dealership, to anti-bullying campaigns, helping disabled, autism awareness. So we're actually hitting 100 years.
Oh, wow.
We hit 100 years, and we're giving $10,000 to 10 different charities for $100,000 total.
That sounds fantastic. All right, well, thank you for speaking with me.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming over.
Continuing the coverage of the Hudson Valley GamerCon 2019, I am now over at the ECAC table, and who am I joined with?
Christian Roman. I'm an intern for ECAC.
Awesome, Christian. So how has the con been treating you so far?
They've been treating me good so far. They brought me out here to work for this event, and I've been having a really good time, and hopefully in the future, we can have bigger and better things.
Awesome. So for the ECAC, what are you promoting here in particular?
We're just promoting the league and trying to recruit more colleges to join our league. Right now, we have 35 schools, and we're looking to keep expanding. And also, we're trying to promote that we're going to try to do an event in Atlantic City for next fall.
Oh, fantastic. So is it going to be, obviously an esports event. Have you gotten any game titles lined up for this event?
The games that we're incorporating right now is Super Smash Brothers, Overwatch, FIFA, League of Legends, Hearthstone, and Fortnite.
It's going to be a full schedule down there, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So how much of the competitions have you been able to catch?
Well, I've been able to catch a few of the events, and so far they've been very competitive and exciting. For Overwatch, I don't want to put any biases on it, but I think RPI is going to take it.
Oh, boy. Okay. I would say that you heard it here first, but this isn't going to get published for another few days. But in retrospect, we'll just treat this as a bit of a time capsule.
Oh, and by the way, RPI was the champion in Overwatch.
All right, so you a big Overwatch fan yourself?
Yes, sir. Very much so.
What characters do you play as?
I do play Overwatch, but it's not my favorite game to play.
All right, so what's your personal flavor?
My personal favorite game to play is Apex Legends.
Nice. That's been big. Yes. And that's a free-to-play, isn't it?
Yes, it is a free-to-play game.
And it's just a little free-to-play game that kind of came out and just is taking the online community by storm and just taking no prisoners.
Yes, it is. I feel like it's very soon is going to overtake for Fortnite. I feel like a lot of the competitive players are moving over to Apex.
Wow. All right. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
All right, and now I am with the Claim to Fame Entertainment booth. How has the con been treating you so far?
Not too bad, not too bad. A little slow today, but with the tournament going on at the Times Junior, it's kind of tough.
Right, and also we got PAX going on this weekend as well.
I think next year, because we helped them promote this con, that we're going to sit down. Actually, our CEO is sitting down with them this coming week and start planning for next year. And that's one of the biggest things, is make sure that you don't have any major other tournaments or things going on at the same time, because people are going to go to PAX East before they come here.
I mean, that's not to knock the Hudson Valley Gamer Con. It's just a business. It's business.
It's a big business, and they did a great job this year, and we're hoping to help them to get bigger next year.
All right, so who am I joining with right now?
You're talking to John, and I'm the Chief Financial Officer for the company and part owner.
Well, thank you for joining me on this. So what do we have set up on our table today?
So we actually make our own perler bead designs. We take them, and these are all designs from the 3 games that are being played today, the Fortnite, League of Legends, and Overwatch. So
well played.
They're characters of those 3 games.
Awesome. So what does Claim to Fame Entertainment do?
We bring esports to the Capital Region. Right now what we do is we are at Crossgates Mall with Lucky Strikes. We set up all our equipment, and people come in and they pay a flat fee to come and play all night. We do major tournaments. We did one last year. We had players from all over the country come.
Oh, wow.
So we are actually in the process of looking for our own brick and mortar. So it will be a gaming lounge. You can come in, you'll play whatever games you want. There'll be PCs, everything will be high end. We'll have food and drinks and everything. So it'll be a place that gamers can come and meet other gamers instead of sitting in your living room playing with somebody that you don't even know. So,
I mean, there's benefits to that as well, but just the fact that you're growing to the point where you're moving out of your original, I don't want to say, would you call it rented space?
Yes, we rent the space right now.
Okay, so moving out of your rented space into your own brick and mortar
building, yeah.
That is awesome.
We have a fantastic realtor that he's just incredible, and he's been working really hard.
Beautiful. Are there any, can you give me a preview, like either what cities or what parts of the cities that you're looking into?
As where we're going to set the...
Right.
Probably your Latham area, North Colony area, because it's kind of a central area. You got the bus routes from Albany, Troy, Schenectady. They all come into Latham. Latham's a pretty nice area. It's up and coming. You know, people are willing to drop their kids off in Latham and go, to the mall or something, because Latham is a pretty nice place. But it's kind of the center point of the Capital District.
I can buy that. All right, I can dig that. So a lot of the esports competitions, what kind of is your vision for this brick and mortar store? You kind of like a lounge, you said?
Yeah, it's going to be a kind of a lounge, but like I said, it's going to be high-end equipment. We're going to actually have the gaming chairs like they do up there.
Very nice.
High-tech computers. We're going to have a big screen. We're going to have... When you walk into place, we want you to feel like, oh my God, I'm at a major event here. Look at this. It looks like it's on TV.
Very cool.
And someplace friendly, someplace that's comfortable, that you can sit and relax and talk to your friends, grab a quick bite to eat, and then go play again.
Sounds like a blast to me. I mean, not gonna lie.
Absolute. The vision we have is incredible.
So what are your thoughts on the growing gaming culture here in the Capital Region?
Well, I have to be honest with you. My 2 sons and their 2 friends, they started this business.
Okay.
And they came to me and wanted money. And I told them absolutely not. I'm not getting into this. I'm a lot older. I don't know anything about it. But I finally did some research and found out how big it is and how fast it's growing. So I went to them and said, instead of giving you money, how about I buy into the company? I've been doing numbers forever. I was a treasurer for the schools when the kids were little. I'm a treasurer for the Fraternal Order of Police. I said, I'll do all the financing. So when I took over, they had about $1,000 in their account. As of today, we probably have $15,000 cash.
Beautiful.
And probably close to $45,000 worth of equipment.
That's a lot of money.
In 2.5 years.
Beautiful. And you mentioned the business aspect of it all. Earlier this month, we had a press conference, or I was able to view a press conference to promote the Hudson Valley GamerCon, and kind of the same sentiments were displayed or shared, where why would someone travel, in this case it was to New York City to watch some people play video games, and the story was, the Barclays Center is sold out.
Right, exactly. I mean, in Pennsylvania, they just built a $50 million esports arena. These events are sold out. I mean, it's as big as the MAC tournament.
Like, this at the point where I don't care what your personal opinion or sentiment is about gaming, the words sold out, I mean, if you're in business, those are big words.
Those are very good words. That's what you want to see.
So what other types of community involvement are you guys getting into?
Okay, so we just signed with PAL, the Police Athletic League in Albany. We're going to bring in esports to their junior high schools. And we're in the PAL facility itself. We just signed a contract with them for some events for the month, and we're hoping to expand with them and get the younger kids involved in this, because that's where it's coming from. Just like any sports. You start young, you slowly move up. And then, you know, the scouts are going to be coming to the high schools. They're going to be looking for players. In our event, when we host a big tournament, they're going to be coming to Claim to Fame Entertainment and looking at our players. We actually have one of the top players here in Albany.
Okay.
So that's what we're going to be doing. You know, and Mohonasen High School, we just did a major event with them. They love us. We're looking to sign a contract with them. They have a facility that is fantastic.
They just built a new technology wing over there.
Yes, their center is the only one in the state. They got a grant for that, and they haven't been really using it. But the principal up there now, and I forget his name, he's very into this. We've sat down and talked to him, and we're looking to sign a contract with the school district to bring schools in and bring other schools into Mohonasen.
Sounds like an absolute blast.
It's nothing but dreams coming true. It's incredible.
All right. Thank you so much for speaking with me.
Thank you very much yourself. And we look forward to bringing you to our gaming lounge when we get up and running.
I'll be there. All right. So day 2, continuing on at Hudson Valley GamerCon, and I am over at the RPI table right now, and I am joined by
Brittany Wenzel.
Hello, how are you doing this fine day?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm hanging in there. And as soon as I started to hit record, they just came back on the intercom, so this is going to be great for audio. But we're going to keep this rolling right now. And what are you here promoting?
I'm here promoting my game Doggo Unleashed, which is a 3D single-player game where you play as a corgi puppy in a series of neighborhood backyards. You get to eat food, play with toys, bark at birds, squirrels. Most importantly, you can help the neighborhood dogs with their problems.
And yes, this is as adorable as it sounds. I'm watching it being played on a laptop next to me. It's an illustrative style. Would you call it cel shading?
Yeah, that's the style we're going for.
Okay, so it's a cel shaded, and you're just looking at a corgi floofer butt for the majority of the game.
That's correct.
And right now, this is an older build. So I was talking to you yesterday. Is this an older build of the game?
This is an older build. We have a more current build with bigger yards and more things to do, but unfortunately we couldn't get it ready in time to show at this event.
Hey, it happens. Business is business. It happens. And yeah, right now, so the version of this build that we're looking at is a handful of backyards, and there's just some things to interact with. And it is like, I'm talking to you and looking at the screen at the same time, because it really is adorable. Yeah,
yeah, right?
Yeah, right?
It's adorable, I'll admit. It's very adorable.
So it is called Doggo Unleashed. And when is this due out?
We're hoping to release in November of this year, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, of course. So what else is going on in this game? You play as a corgi for now, and we just play around in the yard. And I heard you mention something about some type of objective to some viewers that were here earlier. Tell me about that.
So in the build that we have here today, all you can really do is explore the yards. However, in the future builds, we're actually introducing a story element. And what has happened is a big storm blew through the neighborhood recently, and the nearby dog park has a whole bunch of fallen trees in it. And a bunch of raccoons have moved in, and they're causing havoc in the neighborhood. They're stealing toys, eating everyone's food, and everyone is really done with this. So it's up to Doggo and the player to help get rid of the raccoons once and for all.
That is fantastic. And yesterday we were talking, and we were planning on a type of Kickstarter.
Yeah, we're really hoping to run a Kickstarter sometime in May. Nothing is really set in stone right now, but if we can get a big enough base now, it'll be more than likely going to happen.
Okay, very cool. And I was joking with you guys earlier. So right now it's a corgi, and again, business got a business. I know some people who absolutely love this game. I am mostly on the games that are very lore heavy, very detailed. Everyone knows I'm a huge fan of Destiny and just love nerding out about the lore on this. But I mean, this is I cannot pass this up. It needs to come out. What platforms is this coming out on?
We're hoping to release on PC first and foremost. If that goes well and everything's running smoothly, we want to try to get a dev kit for the Switch, because we would really love to release this on the Switch. A lot of people have been asking us if we're going to release on mobile. Currently, we don't have any plans to, but if the PC release is good and it's received well, then we do want to consider a mobile build.
Very cool. And you're sitting at the RPI table right now. You're a graduate of RPI?
Yes, I graduated last spring.
Fantastic. Welcome to the real world. It sucks. So what did you study at RPI?
I studied Games and Simulation Arts and Sciences, or as we like to call it at RPI, GSAS.
Very sassy. Very. All right, thank you so much for chatting with me.
Thank you.
Okay, so first of this event, I'm actually going to be sitting down with one of the competitors, athletes of this event. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Christian Isolda. I'm a senior at Marist College, and I play on our League of Legends team and our Overwatch team.
Fantastic. So, me personally, and listeners of this podcast know, I'm more of the story-driven RPG type of gamer. But I have been having an absolute blast here at this event. Have you been enjoying yourself here in Albany?
Yeah, it's been an awesome event so far. Huge upgrade from last year, where it was just one game. Now it's 3 games, and the venue is awesome.
Yeah, the venue is just absolutely superb. I've been here for a couple different events. Love what they do here at the Albany Capitol Center. What do you think of the ceiling lights?
I have to say, I was talking to my team. I think it's the best part about the venue. I was like, if we can get some of this in our esports room at school, that'd be awesome.
Right, because clearly the ceiling lights are the most important part of a facility.
Yeah, of course, especially at an esports event.
Yeah, it really is, though. Okay, so you said League of Legends?
League of Legends and Overwatch.
Okay, so...
Yeah, I'm team captain for our league team, so that's kind of like my baby. But I also participate on Overwatch. Okay,
so what heroes do you play as in League of Legends?
I play marksman characters. My role is marksman, so I play Xayah, Vayne, and Ezreal.
Okay, and what type of other characters do you like to be teamed up with while you're swinging the marksman?
Sure. So my favorite is Rakan. We do Xayah Rakan. It's like a couple in the game, and they work really well together. And I also just like enchanters, so people that make me stronger so I can carry the game easier.
Always helpful to have a support character giving you buffs during the competition, am I right?
Of course. Yeah, can't ask for more.
All right, and you said also Overwatch?
Yeah, I play Overwatch as well.
Are you also like the ranged sniper marksman in Overwatch as well?
So I'm a DPS player, so I still do the same kind of carry potential. For our team, we have a really good 2 DPS players. So I play off tank to kind of complement. So yeah.
Okay, and how about your squad? What type of roles do they usually play when you're going into battle?
So our squad, there's one really good composition that's run right now, so we're not too good at it, our squad, and we don't really like playing it, so we're playing the counter to it. So it's really chaotic. We're causing chaos against the comp that's usually meant to be relaxing.
Well, a little bit of chaos every now and again is a good time.
Yeah, especially against a really good team, chaos is the enemy for them.
We have no idea what we're going to do, so we're just going to cause chaos in front of everyone and try to come out on top.
For the best.
All right. All right, thank you so much for talking with me.
No problem. Anytime.
All right, moving on with the GamerCon 2019, I am now joined with Jonathan Neely of Stevenson University. John, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm
Nice to be here.
It is. How are you enjoying the venue in our fine city so far?
The venue is really, really great. This is our first live event, so we are taking it all in for the first time. So.
All right, so your first live event.
Yeah. This is our first live event after 3 seasons. So.
Okay, cool. So what titles are you competing in this weekend?
Just for this weekend, it's just League of Legends. We just acquired our first Overwatch coach on staff, and he'll be participating in next year's event.
All right, so we're already planning for next year.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, just like in your traditional sports, you're planning several years out, all trying to get things all situated. And so what kind of strategy okay, I should probably point out, you are not one of the players.
No, I'm not. I'm the coach.
Okay, so how long have you been coaching this team?
I've been coaching for 2.5 years.
And been a fun ride so far?
A lot of ups and downs, because right now the League of Legends and the college community is very astringent. There's not many rules and regulations on amateurship, and you get a lot of players sniped from other colleges, and you get students that are chasing money. So just like a lot of college traditional sports, you see a lot of these transitions with players at different colleges. For just this incoming season, I've lost 5 students at the beginning of the semester. So
that's kind of rough.
Yeah, it comes with a lot of responsibility, and we still placed 9th out of the entire conference.
Fantastic.
Yeah, with a decent roster change. So.
All right, cool. So, what is your team's usual strategy when it comes?
So right now I have one premier student athlete. His name is Aiden Cagle. He's our ex-challenger ADC. So because we have such a small talent pool, we have to work with what we have. So we run a death ball comp, or we run a team fighting comp. So we force them to meet us at objectives, and we force fights at those objectives that take objectives to accelerate our gold economy for the rest of the team. So we play around Aiden. Aiden's our shot caller, and he makes the overall macro or global choices around the map.
Okay, cool. So as far as recruitment goes, are you guys looking out at like local competitions? Or how's your scouting working?
So I have pipelines in community colleges and also local high schools. I have 3 or 4 students out of state that'll be coming in next semester. 2 from New York, 1 from Colorado, and I have a possibility of 1 coming from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Quite the reach you got going on, but that's the way it goes with these electronic sports, because it's not necessarily geographic. I mean, clearly it's geographic, but your reach can go virtually limitless, right?
Yeah, it's right now, esports is generally based around your social media marketing and your reach numbers. So sponsorship and recruitment all revolve around how well you market yourself on social media, because it's such a youthful sport. So you really have to do a good job in promoting your program, looking semi-professional at the college level.
It's definitely a growing and young program, but it's coming. It's coming on the rise. And I think this conference itself, or this tournament, is testament to that, because we've got the entire upper lobby, the entire upper hall of the Capitol Center with 3 massive screens set up.
Yeah, they did a great job getting together this event, and it's only going to improve from years to come, because there's a lot of things they work out, and just learning as a esport process.
All right, well, I'm definitely excited to see what happens, and thank you so much for spending some time with me.
No problem. I love to talk to you guys about these things.
And as we'll use the air quotes, coverage of Hudson Valley GamerCon continues, I am joined by another game developer, and I want you to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Ryan Hewer with Little Red Dog Games.
All right, so Little Red Dog, where's the inspiration behind that name? Because I find it kind of interesting.
It's a family business. We had a beloved Shiba Inu, and he's not with us anymore, but we built the business around the idea of we want our games to be the kind of games that you would be okay with having in your house. They're family-friendly games. And
okay, fabulous.
Yeah. Honestly, the company name really stuck, and as the company grew, it just made sense to keep with the same name, and we couldn't think of a better memorial to him, actually.
Hey, you know what? That works. Whatever works for you. So what games do we have going on over at Little Red Dog?
Okay, so we have Rogue State, which we released in 2015, which is a Middle Eastern point-and-click strategy hybrid where you play a dictator who is rebuilding the country from his country in the Middle East from the ashes of a bloody civil war. And you are pulled in different directions by fundamentalists and liberals and nationalists and capitalists, all trying to steer the country in a different way. And you have to kind of walk that line to try and keep everyone happy and trying to prevent another collapse.
God bless and Godspeed to that.
We got a second game, which is Deep Sixth, we put out last year. It was a big critical success for us. It was
fabulous.
Finalist at Indie X in Portugal. We showed it off at GDC. This is a game that is you play a convict who is sent to deep space, and she has to map a nebula for a company that's picked up her contract. And she doesn't know why she's there or what she's looking for, but she's in this very rickety spaceship, and it's constantly falling apart all around her all the time. And so everything in the spaceship can be opened up and manipulated with and deconstructed and reconstructed. And the idea is to keep your ship running, keep yourself from falling apart. Space monsters are going to be constantly coming and tearing your ship apart, and find your way back home.
All right, I was able to see a little bit of gameplay yesterday, and one of the clips that I saw was the main character furiously trying to tape it back together either a window or computer monitor.
Yeah, well, again, this is you're not Captain Picard here. This is a love letter to the Geordies and the O'Briens of the world here. So, like, things are going to fall apart faster than you're able to put them back together again. So you're going to have to figure out, what am I going to fix the right way, and what am I going to put in a temporary clutch in for in order to deal with a more serious problem that's coming on the line. So, am I going to fix the air ventilation systems, or am I going to be repairing the hyperdrive that's falling apart again?
And creating an environment that's that actionable, interactive, there's a lot of little bits and pieces when you get into different type of crafting type of mechanics. How extensive do we go down? How far down that rabbit hole of bits and pieces and components do we go in this game?
With Deep Sixth, it actually comes with a manual that you can print off and learn the complete construction of your spaceship.
Oh, wow.
This is not a light game by any stretch of the imagination. It's pretty deep. And there's a lot of interconnecting pieces and things, and a lot of multiple ways of fixing a problem as well. There's the right way, and there's the fast way, and there's the dangerous way. There's a lot of layers to every room, and a lot to learn. It's really like, the art of spaceship maintenance and construction, and it's read the manual of the game.
Okay, I can handle that. So how's the con been treating you so far?
Con's been fantastic. We are here showing off Precipice, which is our next game that we're putting out in 1 month.
All right.
Precipice is a Cold War 1 or 2 player game where you play either the United States or the Soviet Union, and you are vying for control of the world, trying to spread your influence throughout the world. You can fund insurgents, you can finance coups, you can engage in diplomacy, do resource trading, invade countries, you can deploy your spies or hunt for enemy spies, and the real core of this game is any action that you do in Precipice can be challenged by your rival. and they can literally tell you, take that back, uninvade that country.
Really?
And what's neat about that is you have a choice at that point. You can stand your ground and say, no, I'm going to do what I want, or you can back away. And if you back away, you lose face with the other countries. You lose a little bit of your power support. If you double down, you dig your feet in, then your rival is given a choice as to whether or not they want to pursue the issue or whether they're going to let it go. And eventually you get into these kinds of standoffs where each side could be escalating. And if things escalate too much, your missiles will cross theirs in the air, and then it's game over for everybody.
Well, that's lighthearted and fun.
Amazingly enough, like all of Little Red Dog Games' products are not taking themselves too seriously. So with Precipice, all of the countries are beautifully drawn and represented as animals. And in this kind of bizarre world that we live in, Russia is entirely inhabited and run by bears, and America is entirely run and inhabited by eagles, and it creates weird interactions. We don't have Margaret Thatcher, we have Margaret Badger. We have all kinds of just representations of the different countries and interests that are going to be pulling you in different directions.
Okay, and we were talking yesterday, you have a connection with SUNY Canton, yes?
Yes, I'm the professor for game design and development at SUNY Canton. It's a huge growing program right now, and we're really proud of the direction it's going and what our kids are producing right now.
How long has this program been at SUNY Canton?
Game design and development's been running for 2 years now.
Okay, so still relatively new.
Yep, relatively new, but to see the progress that we've made in 2 years has been phenomenal. We're really excited about where things are going to be going from here.
Right, and that seems to be the running theme, especially at this event, that esports in particular, so the esports is why we're here. It's growing, it's finally growing on the East Coast of the US. It's fairly popular on the West Coast, apparently, and gamers know this is huge everywhere in the world but the US. Type of thing.
Absolutely, yeah. People are starting to wake up and realize we can fill stadiums now with people that want to see these kinds of events and these kinds of games.
Oh, right, and I guess last year they had this event, and it was one game with 4 teams. We now have 3 games going, roughly 20 teams. So that percentage of growth, I don't care who you are, if you have any type of business sense whatsoever, those are good numbers.
Yeah, we're going to need a bigger room next time.
And that's a good problem to have. I really cannot wait to see what they end up doing. I mean, the Albany Capitol Center is a fantastic venue. We'll see what happens.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
And that is all we have for this episode. Time for end of show plugs. You can find the show notes for this and all previous episodes at videogamecrosstalk.com, as well as all the social media contacts and the occasional blog post. Or you can follow me around on Twitter, Instagram, PS4, and Twitch at HyperSyntax, HYP3RSINT4X. Please don't forget to like, review, subscribe, and share this podcast all over your social media accounts, and we can be found on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and pretty much every other podcast listening device. And as I was editing this, I realized I completely and utterly forgot to ask my signature question to every single one of my interviewees. So I will instead pose it to you. Coffee or tea?
All right, back at it at Hudson Valley. I'm going to try that intro again. And don't worry, I'll throw this at the end as my little blooper reel because I can talk good. My friends at the Toastmasters Club will laugh their asses off at this. Whew. And 2.